All right, guys, welcome back to Legacy Matters. I'm Jason Lamb, your host, and I am joined by Matt Fuhrman, CEO, founder of Core Group Resources. Matt, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, you got it.
Now, as a refresher, Legacy Matters is about all things legacy driven. I have a heart for those who are trying to make an impact in the world through people, through their businesses, and then more importantly, through the kingdom and their families. And Matt really personifies what the show's about for me. So the first place we're going to start, it's a 3-part series, a couple of 10-minute interviews my goal, so you can get these in bites and perhaps take some wisdom and go use it, would be to interview Matt and talk a little bit about one of the things that really resonated with me is how you're using your business as a form of ministry. Matt, I know you set out, I think when a business owner starts a business, they set out to try to survive, right? I don't know any business owner who's like, okay, I'm going to be here. It's like year one, right? Day one, week one.
Yeah.
That's kind of the first 5 years is just let's get to the next thing. You now have created not only a very successful business, but one that is now building layers of other business and even things that are giving back. And I want to just kind of understand how the genesis of all this, and then where it's going. Give us a little bit of that backdrop there.
Yeah, doing kind of business is ministry. When I got into the recruitment business, I fell in love with helping people find work,
Right.
jobs, and it's something that it probably derives from like a childhood wound of my parents losing their jobs as a kid, and I got into it, and suddenly the social engineering behind helping people find work, there was a mission behind it for me always.
Right.
I got into this 20 years ago. And that perpetuated, the social engineering of recruitment is a lot. It's not an easy business,
Right.
But the energy and the joy of helping people find work keeps you moving along and making
Right.
those connections happen. And so, as I got started with Core Group 12 years ago, I was like, I want to do business as ministry, but I don't know what that looks like. And so I just know that the recruitment is the ministry itself. That's the vocation. But as I started to kind of go through and hire people, I started to realize that, the environment that I create, you as an entity owner can create a little mini heaven on earth inside of the organization that you manage, right?
Right.
You have
Fantastic.
the power to control that environment. You have the power to hire, the fire, to give, to not give, and that kind of thing. And so, but how do you manage all that? Because the P&Ls, right? Like if we lose money, you can't stay. If you make money, you can't stay. But I want to protect you. And so they're in opposition of each other, right? And the marketplace is trying to come in and take from you, and you've got to battle the market, and stuff's coming online, going offline, interest rates spike, things dry up, and so it's a constant battle. It's a constant quest forward. But there is a way to manage that dichotomy, and it's stewarding your people well. It's looking at it from just an internal perspective, right? Where I'm not focused on just the P&L this month. I'm focused on the P&L 30, 40 years from now. I'm focused on the impact I'm having on this person's life today sitting in front of me.
Right.
What does me firing this person do to them forever? Is this the right decision?
Right.
When we hire and fire, it's an agonizing process we go through.
Understood. I can imagine.
Because we are connecting people to destiny, and when we're called to prune, we better be sure that that's the right decision.
I can only imagine how it weighs on you knowing your heart. Right. So yeah, I can.
And so, but your business is a ministry. It's a family company, right? Why do they call it a company? Because you're in company together. It's a secondary family from your family. It's something that you're doing. Now, we make money, we do well, you have to prune when you have to prune.
Right.
That's the worst part of the job. Best part of the job is stewarding people and growing people well inside the organization. And so if you just steward people well, which is grow them spiritually, professionally, build them up, make them better, just versions of themselves, and guess what happens? Then, that dad or mom suddenly is impacting their husband or wife, and they're impacting their kids.
Right.
And so now all of a sudden you have, someone said the other day, like, we have, 90 employees. Well, what does 90 employees mean? Well, they have a significant other, so that's actually 180. Well, then they actually have, it's probably one kid on top of that. So then that becomes, close to 300 people.
Pretty quick.
But then you have a contractor base of 400. Well, then they all have significant others, right? So 400 goes to 800.
Right.
And then those 800 goes to 1,200 with the plus one kid, plus your full-time employees. Now I'm running a mini mega church suddenly
Right.
from my desk.
Right.
And what's the impact coming out of me from a heart level that radiates and transcends out through that entire ecosystem, you know? And so that's the business ministry piece is, it's a fragile environment. You know, I work inside of this triangle of, you know, family, God, you know, business, doing the right thing. And I stay inside of it. And if I think I can jump out real quick and jump back in, you'll send a shockwave, you know, through your organization.
So one thing, and again, for those that are listening, I want to make sure I'm encouraging the idea that there's that just because you're using it as ministry, and this show is not about saying everybody needs to go make their business a ministry, because I'm hoping that it could also inspire you that that's what you chose. It's what you chose to do because that's where your heart lies. But it's the impact that a business can have across everything.
You could call it, you can call it ministry, business, company.
Mission.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
You are impacting. You're impacting the people in your division at a large company. You're impacting your people as a manager below you. Like the power of a leader is tremendous.
So John Gordon is a great author, and he talks a lot about our purpose, and it's you can take that purpose, which might be to serve people, to make people better. Yours is looking at this job and probably just started at one desk with just you at one point in time, and then waking up every day and going, I got to feed my family, but guess what I get to do in the process? I'm getting people jobs. I'm creating opportunities. I'm using my gifts to create that, and then now multiply that to an organization that transcends that and then creates other people with that mindset. It's that ability as a leader to create mission through that, through that movement.
Yeah.
But then now, that being said, not all companies are going to create that and then go build sub layers within that to go actually do ministry. Now, your business, we're talking in terms of how the business itself can be a form of ministry through the relationships you create, the legacy you leave in the company, the coaching that's provided, the culture that you provide. Mm-hmm. And you've actually taken it a step further. You've actually taken it a step further and actually are doing ministry work as part of your business now, or maybe not necessarily part of the business, but as a like I volunteered with your team out doing ministry work. So talk to us about kind of how you decided to, because that's a bold move to say, hey, we're going to actually, I think you guys created a fund or use funds to help an employee when they need help or to help something that they're passionate about. So for those that might be interested in how to really take this a step further, how are you taking your business and then going to do an actual tangible good in the community? The
way it starts is, if you have a heart for doing social responsibility or impacting your community is, we actually hired Jamie Hampton, who runs Hope Legacy Collective, and they had pre-vetted all of these ministries in town. And we used that network to grow our own social responsibility programs, which is like we'll go out and feed the homeless as a company, or we'll bring our clients to human trafficking tours of Houston, or we'll go volunteer at the food bank, or we'll go to these different homes. And the idea is when you get out and serve together as a company, as with your clients, it's different, right? It's like we all go like, hey, you want to go play golf? You want to go to the bar? You want to go get a nice meal? You want to go to dinner? Hey, you want to go on a mission? Everyone's like, oh, whoa, yeah, let's go. It creates a zipper effect, right? And I've taken clients on mission, Camp Hope, where I brought a client on mission there, and suddenly he's, now been involved with them for 4 years, but he just happened to follow me there one day, right? And you don't know what it does at a heart level for people to bind in. Right. So you start doing that stuff. We created a benevolence fund in-house, and so it's when stuff comes up, like we had someone who had, a family member pass away, and they didn't have the money to cover the cost of the funeral, and I just prayed about it and said, let's give, $1,000. Well, guess what? It came down to the penny. We covered it by the penny at $1,000 of what was the overage of what they couldn't get there, right? And or someone had an issue here, and we'll hit them with cash, to cover that, or car
Car
breaks,
issue,
car
or-
breaks
or-
down.
yeah,
Can't physically get to office to do work because an axle broke or something. Well, there's different things you can do on that front. And so I would say benevolence fund's easy. You just decide, hey, we're doing a benevolence fund. Well, what does that look like? Well, as the opportunities present themselves, you make a kingdom call to do that. Now you have to. It's not free money for everyone who wants it.
Right. Right.
It's not abuse. It's true need. So
Right.
you have to assess.
Right.
Be winsome and
Put leaders in place
right.
to kind of decision-making processes in place. But.
And then we hit this kind of corporate responsibility tunnel for 6 years, and then all of a sudden, what manifested was a couple foundations were like, hey, can you help like all of these people coming out of ministries to find work?
Right.
Hey, will you be willing to fund it? You should start a nonprofit. You should, get tax exempt status. So we started a nonprofit, tax exempt status. Actually got that funded, and now we're doing like fully funded true ministry work through a nonprofit
Right.
that's funded by foundations. But it was 7 years of
Right.
corporate responsibility stewardship that triggered
Right.
this next layer, right?
Well, that's legacy
On
right
its own,
there.
right?
I mean, when you
And so
think about
so now we're into a different thing. We've got marketplace chaplains that come around. We use corporate chaplains. They come around once a month and meet with everyone and have chats and touch base. It might be actually bi-weekly, and they're doing stuff that I can't do. The CEO company, I can go do ministry, but like, can I really get that personal? Because
Can
I
you
still
sit down and talk to
because
them
I
about,
still
you have to
because
have
I
a
still
veil.
have an entity to run, and so the marketplace chaplains do a really good job of being a confidential third party.
That's fantastic.
And so that's going on. We do weekly Bible studies if you want to be a part of that, right? And we have someone that runs that.
Love it.
And it's just wherever your heart is and what you want to get into. But you can start simple. Say, hey, we're just doing a benevolence fund.
Right.
That's easy. You don't have to do all this other stuff.
Right.
But then it's like, well, what about this? If they want any ideas on how to get this social responsibility programs running, like let me know. We'll help.
Absolutely.
And what you start to see is when you start posting this stuff on your website and what you're doing in the community and bringing people start tracking into that.
Right.
They want to be a part of it.
How do I do this?
It's a recruitment funnel. All these new kids coming out of college all want a higher purpose.
Right. Yeah.
They all want to go to SpaceX because they're going to save humanity or
Right.
whatever. You have to have a higher purpose for what you do. And so the recruitment, the retention, all that stuff goes into it as well.
Fantastic. Great insights, Matt. And I feel like this is the exact type of fruit that I can just place in the hand of a business owner and say, maybe you're stuck. Listen to this. This might help inspire you on where to go. And I know that you've got, through me and all of our channels, and you mentioned C12, there's plenty of resources out there for the business owner that's trying to make an impact from a mission-driven focus.
Yeah.
And so thanks for sharing those today.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.